and gentlemen, the pleb is back. In this report, Putin and Tucker Carlson had a historic interview last night in which Vladimir Putin mentioned Justin Trudeau and his screw-up of inviting a Nazi to parliament. As well, tonight, Justin Trudeau responds, or does he respond, to the interview with Vladimir Putin, and it literally leaves him speechless. And in our last story, Joe Rogan comments on the craziness and wokeness of Canada. You won't want to miss tonight's story. Stick around. Before we start the report, just want to take a moment to say thank you for staying vigilant over the subscribe button. For whatever reason, YouTube is mass unsubscribing you guys from a lot of conservative channels. Now, you're not letting them win. We are fighting back and we are growing huge here with over 60,000 subscribers in the last 4 weeks. Now, if you're not subscribed already, smash that subscribe button because I'm going to tell you the news that the mainstream media wants to hide from you. Welcome to your Friday report, and we have a lot to unpack here tonight, as last night was possibly the biggest interview we have seen in decades, where Tucker Carlson and Vladimir Putin sit down for a 2-hour interview. Now, in this 2-hour interview, the topic of Canada came up, and Vladimir Putin pulled no punches and took the opportunity to ridicule Justin Trudeau and ridicule Canada for inviting a Nazi to parliament.
The president of Ukraine visited Canada. The story is well known, but being silenced in the Western countries. The Canadian Parliament introduced a man who, as the Speaker of the Parliament said, fought against the Russians during the World War II. Well, who fought against the Russians during the World War II? Hitler and his accomplices. It turned out that this man served in the SS troops. He personally killed Russians, Poles, and Jews. The SS troops consisted of Ukrainian nationalists who did this dirty work. The president of Ukraine stood up with the entire Parliament of Canada and applauded this man. How can this be imagined? The president of Ukraine himself, by the way, is a Jew by nationality.
Really, my question is, what do you do about it? I mean, Hitler's been dead for 80 years. Nazi Germany no longer exists. And so, true. And so, I think what you're saying is you want to extinguish or at least control Ukrainian nationalism. But how? How do you do that?
Вот послушайте меня. Ваш вопрос очень тонкий.
Listen to me. Your question is very subtle, and I can tell you what I think. Do not take offense.
Of course.
Он, казалось бы, тонкий, он очень противный, этот вопрос.
This question appears to be subtle. It is quite pesky.
Значит,
You say Hitler has been dead for so many years, 80 years. But his example lives on. People who exterminated Jews, Russians, and Poles are alive. And the president, the current president of today's Ukraine, applauds him in the Canadian Parliament, gives a standing ovation. Can we say that we have completely uprooted this ideology if what we see is happening today? That is what denazification is in our understanding. We have to get rid of those people who maintain this concept and support this practice and try to preserve it. That is what denazification is. That is what we mean.
Look, I'm not the biggest fan of Vladimir Putin in the world, and I'm sure you are not either, but this screw-up by Justin Trudeau is embarrassing. I mean, Justin Trudeau was the one who directly invited this Nazi to parliament, and Justin Trudeau is such an absolute screw-up that he handed Vladimir Putin the greatest piece of propaganda he's had in the last few years. Another colossal Trudeau screw-up here. Now, this whole interview has a lot of crazy and epic moments, and it's a long interview. You should definitely go listen to it. But the craziest part of the interview last night has to be where Vladimir Putin roasts Tucker Carlson subtly for getting rejected by the CIA right out of college. Man, this 15-second clip has 78,000 likes, 11.3 million views. Insane. Let's roll it.
With the backing of CIA, of course. The organization you wanted to join back in the day, as I understand. We should thank God they didn't let you in. Although, it is a serious organization. I understand.
Okay, that was pretty wild. I mean, it shows that Putin does his homework. And just look at Putin's face here as he stares at Tucker Carlson and after grilling him for being rejected by the CIA. How wow. And apparently Elon Musk thought it was funny as well. It actually is funny. The left are rolling with this clip to attack Tucker Carlson as some kind of victory, but you got to give it to them. That was a pretty funny clip. And the following day after this interview, Justin Trudeau gets in front of the press, and the press asks him a question like, how do you feel putting Ukraine at risk, inviting a Nazi to parliament? And of course, Justin Trudeau did not answer the question. Watch this.
You've been such an ardent supporter of Ukraine, but there's been a lot of controversy surrounding President Zelensky's visit here, and now we've heard Vladimir Putin use some of that embarrassment in an interview with Tucker Carlson. How does it feel to know that that visit and your office's role in inviting a former Nazi?
Oh, you guys catch that? She corrects herself there, inviting a former Nazi? Play that again. No. This guy is straight up a Nazi. I mean, he fought for Adolf Hitler. That is a Nazi. There's no former Nazi. It's a Nazi.
A former Nazi to a reception is creating hardship for an ally.
Vladimir Putin chose to invade a neighboring sovereign country, violating the rights, the sovereignty, the territorial integrity of Ukraine, and violating the rules-based order that underpins the safety, the security of all of us living in democracy, in free democracies around the world. He will, of course, use whatever propaganda he can engage in, but I can tell you, Canadians will not be fooled. Canada stands with Ukraine, not just because
Canadians will not be. Bro, you literally invited a Nazi to parliament. You invited this Nazi. We have the documents. You personally invited a Nazi. Now you're going to blame Putin? Own this mistake, Justin, because this is a colossal screw up.
We are friends to Ukraine, but because the rules-based order and the system of laws and the UN Charter protect all of us, not just Ukrainians. So we will continue to be there with Ukraine for as much as it takes, for as long as it takes. Unfortunately, we see the lengths to which Russian propaganda will go to try and impact public opinion, to try and twist things the way we want to.
Okay. You invited the Nazi to parliament. This is not on Putin. I'm not a Putin fan. I'm not simping for Putin here, but you are the one who invited a Nazi to parliament. You are the one who embarrassed Canada in front of the whole world. You're the one who embarrassed Zelensky in front of the world. This is your screw up, Justin. You handed Putin probably the best piece of propaganda he's had in forever, and it's all you, Justin Trudeau. Now, one thing I noticed about the Putin interview last night is he did not talk about the woke mind virus that is currently taking over the West. He didn't even mention it, and everything he does say is pretty strategic, so a part of me believes that he wants to see the woke insanity continue here in Canada and the United States and the West, and we just keep destroying ourselves. But one person who is calling out the woke insanity and wants to see the West be great again is none other than Joe Rogan, who went on another rant about how crazy things are in Canada, and it's quite epic. Shout out to Rebel News, who their journalism gets discussed by Joe here. Good job, Rebel.
It's a psychological disorder, just like gender dysphoria. It's a psychological disorder. It's always been listed as a psychological disorder. And now in 2024, everyone who is a man who thinks he's a woman is brave and amazing. No one's sick. So you're allowing people that are absolutely perverts and sex offenders to go into women's locker rooms with a heart on, and no one can say anything. And if you say something, they will protest your business and shut you down. There's no room for any nuance. There's no room for someone to say, hey, listen, for some people, there's clearly this thing in them that makes them feel like they're in the wrong body. And if we are compassionate and if we are kind, we would want that person to be able to express themselves in any way they want that makes them feel better, that helps everybody. But also, there's perverts. But also, there's people that if they find out all they have to do is pretend they're a woman and they can go in the women's locker room and watch women change, they'll do that too. You see, I'm sure you've seen the guy in Canada, the 50-year-old man that identifies as a 15-year-old girl and got to change in the young girls' locker room and got to compete with these young girls. It's utter, complete insanity.
Psychosis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, you're 50. You're not 15. Period. That's not negotiable. You know, you live a certain amount of time, period. You can't say I identify as a baby and then wear diapers and have everybody take care of you. That's fucking crazy. But the fact that they're letting that, we are one step away from minor attracted persons being something that everybody's cool with. Because that's also on the agenda. And every now and then they sneak that out there. Every now and then you'll see it in universities, see people talking about it. We have this is this one malign group that has no support, minor attracted persons. Yeah.
It's sick.
It's sick.
It's sick.
It's sick. And the rest of the world is fucking laughing at us.
True.
They're laughing at how crazy, especially Russia. They think it's hilarious. They're laughing at how ridiculous
I bet you Putin's probably going to say something about that in this interview.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
And he would be right.
I just don't. I don't know why they're just so hell bent on going after the kids. Obviously,
I think it's money.
There's huge money in it.
I think it's money, and it's also the waving the flag of woke. You know, I mean, it's just it's crazy. It's really weird.
All right, they got something right and they got something wrong. The thing they got right is our opponents are definitely laughing at us as we devolve into insanity here in the West. But where they got it wrong in this interview is they predicted that Putin would bring up the West's wokeness and how it's bad. Well, guess what? He didn't bring it up once in the interview. Our opponents are happy to watch us destroy ourselves. And this is what the woke mind virus is doing to us. And the woke mind virus just keeps spreading in Canada. We've seen a couple of examples this week make the news here. The first example is how climate protesters threw paint all over Justin Trudeau's office. And shout out to Andy Lee for pointing out that the truckers don't like Justin Trudeau and they never vandalized his office, but these woke entitled brats did. Or how about at one of our national museums this week, where a climate activist, a lunatic, goes ahead and sprays paint on dinosaur bones. This is deranged. How is this fixing the climate? How? I mean, oh my God, these people.
My name is Sam. I'm 19 years old. I'm a member of the last generation.
I'm 19 years old. I wonder where he got this brainwashing from. Is it in our Marxist universities? Teaching these kids how to be commies?
If you care about the fossil, if you care about the dinosaur, I urge you to consider the life on Earth that is under threat right now due to the climate crisis.
The climate crisis.
This summer, 35 degrees burned to the ground.
These poor kids are literally being brainwashed, and they truly believe that they're heroes for doing what they did. And in front of Parliament this week, there was another complete whack job who glued her hands to the ground and lit a baby stroller on fire in the name of fighting climate change. Look at this woke insanity here.
Why do I have to sit here and burn this stroller to the ground for people to listen to me? We need to act now. We need government action on the climate crisis. We're facing societal collapse.
Where do you think they're learning this? Where are they learning this? In our indoctrinating in universities. This is where the brainwashing is happening. Don't. Oh my God. These people are embarrassed. It's so embarrassing. After the country's record breaking wildfires last year, who started the fires? It was arsonists.
I want the government to look in the eyes of the children that they're burning to the ground.
What did she just say? The children? Oh my God.
To the ground.
Oh my God.
I want the government to look in the eyes of the children that they're burning to the ground.
Crazy. Cuckoo. This is nuts. This is just woke insanity. The moral of today's story and today's report is that our opponents are laughing at us. They don't want us to stop being woke. They want us to keep deteriorating because they don't even have to fight a war. They don't even need to lose lives to watch America and Canada literally destroy itself. There's a reason Putin didn't mention it yesterday. It's because he's loving every single moment of it. All right, that's going to be a wrap here, but I really want to know in the comments down below, what did you guys think of this Putin and Tucker Carlson interview? What were your biggest takeaways from it? I'm really curious. Tell me in the comments down below. All right, if you guys enjoyed today's video, like it so YouTube pushes it out to more people. Share it with your friends. If you want to support my journalism even further, you could buy a $5 Canadian membership. My name is the Pleb. This was your Friday report, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.